listening to the Hold Your Point podcast, a platform dedicated to discussing millennial culture and experience through a Christian lens, redefining who we are with cultural excellence and as children of the Most High, cultivating thought-provoking discussion and spreading the word of God with love. Hold your point.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Peace to the planet. This is the Hold Your Point podcast. We are the Hold Your Point podcast crew. My name is Cesar Fortunato. I got Lee Strauss in front of me, Michael Joseph, DTH, and DJ. What's going on, fellas?
What up?
Hey, what's happening, y'all?
We here. What's good? What's good?
We are here live.
Yes, sir. Alive and well. Speaking of being alive.
Ooh,
No,
too
I'm
soon.
just-
Too soon. Too
okay,
soon.
I'm sorry. Well, we want to spend just a few minutes talking about the submersible and the events that transpired this past week. First and foremost, man, condolences to the families and for those 5 members who were lost from different families and going through that effect. But we want to spend just a little bit of time just kind of talking about what we've encountered this week with the submersible.
Yeah, it's OceanGate, man. It's a sad situation. There's a lot of stipulations that went around it, a lot of hush-hush that they so say. But just to break it down a little, we had 5 souls that went down to search the Titanic. If I'm not mistaken, $250 a seat.
Thousand.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. $250,000 a seat just to go down in a mini-size minivan down to tour the Titanic. CEO's son, and from what I'm hearing, that the son didn't even want to go down with the father. Mm-hmm. He just did it just to please the father because of Father's Day gift. Dang. But unfortunately, they're saying that the submarine imploded on Sunday, but kind of kept the media hope alive, thinking that they were gonna make it. But that's pretty much the synopsis of what happened.
And that's where I kind of want to get to it. We kind of had this whole scenario with this submarine, unfortunately, and as it kind of is described as, is this simply was an unfortunate accident or whatever happened down there, an implosion that happened that tragically ended 5 lives. But I think what my take is, aside from the emotional factor, is there was a constant like feeding of information on this that kind of unsettled me a little bit. I don't know. Just my theories on certain things. Like, there's many other things that are happening all across this earth, just in this United States. Shoot, take Florida news, and you could probably make a whole week out of it. So just to focus on this one thing, there was national news coverage, CNN, ABC, all of them were just covering this submarine topic for this days on ending, and it was pretty, just in my opinion, it felt a little bit like a distraction, and that's where I'll leave it at that.
You think it's a cover-up, man?
All I'm saying is that there's a lot of things that is going on that get no type of media coverage like this got.
Facts. And to me, I think it was partly a distraction to me, because like in the news also during this week, we seen that there was a tax error or an accounting error that allotted Ukraine an additional $6 billion in funding.
Saw that.
And then Bill Gates got FDA approval for human consumption on synthetic meat, all in the same week.
Bill Gates?
So, yep. So as we
knew that play was coming. That's why he bought all that land.
So as we focusing on this submersible that's bolted from the outside, that's controlled by a Dreamcast controller, like there was so many other things going on.
Nah, it's true. It's right.
With a
Energizer, you can make a commercial because the battery died.
With a contract they had to sign that had multiple instances of death. I mean, look at that thing. Multiple instances of death was listed on the contract on this little minivan submarine fish-looking thing that people decided to go on. And in that sense, I'm not disparaging them in any sense, but it's like, okay, this happened, but it just kept being talked about.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna say this though. Let's keep it 100. White people has been doing these kind of things for a while.
Yeah, you know.
So I mean, the climb to Mount Everest, going to the
space,
moon.
They try to go to space. So Bill Gates, I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, it's unfortunate that this happened. You know, obviously, the vision is always clearer after the fact, right? But had they have been successful, I guarantee you, more people would have went down there.
For sure.
Well, just to bring that up, as me and Phil was talking earlier, right? Like, it's not the first time. It's not the first tour that has actually went down. I think what happened was it was poor infrastructure to the submarine. It was budget cheap.
Well,
I don't know. There's videos circulating viral saying that
parts from Amazon.
Yeah,
Bro, I wrote a whole post. I'm gonna. Do you mind if I read it?
Yeah,
go for it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to Phil, by the way.
So let me get this straight. These folks decide to hop in a mini pill called the Titan, right? It's not even a submarine. It's a submersible device that has to use another device to even come back up.
Ridiculous.
Right? Then they can't even get out themselves because they're bolted in from the outside, right? Then this experimental device isn't even approved, right? Then if it all fails with this device, there's literally no other device that can go down and even retrieve it. Right, only video devices to try and look for it to see where it's at. Then the device doesn't have the ability to even find the Titanic. It has to use text. It has to text another device who will guide it. Right. Then
They don't text back.
to even get down there, they basically have to do a free for all drop and hope they don't fall into the actual Titanic or get stuck or hit anything.
Crazy.
And you really thought it was a good idea.
And then on top of that, it don't even seem like a millionaire's experience because there was one little hole for everybody to kind of look at.
Yeah, you gotta watch on a monitor or something.
Yeah, you know these folks like there had to be some real windows in there. Like
So I've heard I don't remember the name of the show. It was like a sports show, and this guy was like, "Do you think they actually went in there, or is it like a?"
That's what I was thinking.
Like, you know, I think he actually said like a tax evasion, like where he just
Disappearance.
where he just wanted to like, because to me it was like, okay, you have to have a certain level of intellect and intelligence to be a billionaire. I think we all can agree on that.
I was telling my wife
to be a millionaire. Okay, you could have had a hot single. All right, I see millionaire. I see, but to be a billionaire,
That takes some intuition.
Yeah.
that takes some intuition and a lot of common sense.
But hold on,
you have to
DJ.
understand-
Hold on. Sorry, guys. But to your point, though, billionaires and people on that level, they have such tunnel vision that even if people say certain things that will discourage them, they're such on a straight path. Even these facts will not deter them from their vision.
That's what make them
Think
a
about it.
billionaire.
Yeah.
That makes
People-
sense.
people-
And it's stupid money. When you got stupid money, you're gonna do what you want with it.
that too. It takes a lot to be a billionaire, as we're talking about, right? Like these people have a immense belief in themselves and what they can achieve and what they're capable of. So, you know, for people to do this, that's probably what their mindset was. But I didn't. My initial reaction to the whole thing is just, why would anyone want to do this? Because, as we said, you can go watch the movie Titanic. You can see, so you can see pictures of
It's
it.
on
and stuff
Netflix
like
now,
that.
by the way.
Yeah, which is not. I don't think is by mistake either. You know that they brought it back to Netflix because everyone's
money.
looking about.
My heart will go on is top 3 on
Celine Dion, yeah.
Spotify.
Oh wow!
Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah,
playing
man.
It's a money play.
But as you say, money. The thing that came to my mind, honestly, when I heard about the Mike mentioned $200,000 to $250,000 for the seat,
Yeah.
is I'm like, man, how many mouths could have been fed? Like the things people spend their money on, man. And again, condolences to the families, and you don't want to see something like this happen. And the other thing too that was crazy to me was all the memes that were coming out. You know,
Social
Yeah,
media people
yeah,
killed it.
Yeah, people on rich folks, like it's
people
crazy.
crazy. But again, I mean, man, it's just a lot of money to spend on a seat to go down. To
I'll
the
say
ocean.
this because I mean, people appreciate different things. Like with me, I'll probably spend a lot more money on like outdoor activities. Like I'll probably blow, $1,000 on a mountain bike or something because I'm like, all right, it makes sense. But most people are like, well, you could buy a $60 bike at Walmart. But you just see different values and different things. But the memes of what you was talking about, it's just like, man, we become so desensitized for some likes.
Yep.
And just not realizing like
For the first about 3-4 days, it was straight memes. People wasn't even like, oh, these are actual people that like that are actually having their lives lost. I saw. I'll just share one real quick. Someone was saying the fish was eating Five Guys down there. So
Wow. I did not see
Here,
that.
look at this.
The thing is, that
I did not see that.
Here, look at this. The controller.
Yeah, it's a Dreamcast controller.
Yeah.
I can't. That's what I said. Energizer gonna make some money.
way.
is that Dreamcast or is
No,
that,
it's not
It's
actually.
But the thing
Logitech
is,
controller.
while
It's $35 on
While
Amazon.
this is happening and these memes are circulating, you know, they were already dead.
yeah,
So that's the thing to think about. And I want to also bring up a question that my man Rick Ross said. He said, for 250,000, why they couldn't have a chain to the end of a boat to the submarine to go down that far? Just
Yeah,
a
that's what
chain.
I'm saying.
Well, you know how far, you know how long.
It's 2
that is.
miles.
I know.
I was about to say I saw a diagram of something showing how deep the Titanic
Yeah.
is. It's roughly 13,000 feet, and they start from the like
The fish level. And,
Yeah, and then it goes down and they show you the Empire State Building inverted, and like how tall it is, and that thing is way below that. You know what I mean? So it's like, dang, why would you even want to go down that far?
we gotta realize there's certain levels that God, is not allowing us to go.
That's true.
Certain
Space
depths
census, yeah.
of the ocean.
The dynamics of the situation is what happened was they imploded. So when they imploded, it was so quick. It happened in a millisecond. They died in milliseconds. They didn't even feel it. Nothing. They didn't know. Nothing. They didn't because it was so quick. The pressure was so immense. I think I was seeing a video on like a tanker. Like when it implodes at like one, I can't remember the measurement it had, but it was like one of the measurement. The measurement that they were at down there, I think, was in the hundreds. So like,
And then that's where to me, like, I felt like it was a distraction because, like I was telling Lee earlier, like, I don't know if y'all remember when John Benet Ramsey went missing. It was a whole country issue looking for this little girl.
Yeah.
But it seemed like this didn't have the same type of energy. Like, I ain't see nothing about the Navy going out there and looking. I ain't see nothing about Biden saying nothing about nothing. Like, it seemed like they used
straight articles.
a state's budget and like, okay, we're going to use 10% of what we have available for community outreach to go and find these folks.
But look at the distractions. Like we were talking about earlier, DJ, with the immigrants, 700 immigrants, and then 500 died.
Yeah.
So that didn't get as much media coverage as this whole situation.
Yeah, and we were talking about it earlier. Me and Fortunato this week, Hunter Biden was arrested on a gun charge,
Felony gun
charge, and like it brought
I didn't
me.
even know all that.
Yeah, it brought me back to the whole John Morant situation. Honestly, it's like, look how that thing blew up. I understand he's an NBA player, but at the same time, this is Hunter Biden. This is the government of our country, and he's over here running around on an actual gun charge, and people are not even hearing about it.
Yeah, and that's where I feel like,
Who was that?
Hunter Biden.
Son.
Joe Biden's son.
Wow.
And that's where I
Get
feel
it,
like
Joe.
that's where I feel like a lot of people weren't like, I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but I don't like, maybe there's so much going on in life where so many people are affected where it's like, to a point where they don't care so much, even though they're individuals just like us, but it's like, oh, they have the money, they're of different nationalities, they'll be able to take care of their own, blah blah blah. And so many things affect our community that never make it to the light of day. So I think that's where the cynical or the difference came from with how people were reacting. But
I just think it's just so much is going on. It just makes you. I mean, we said it before. It just makes you so desensitized to things now. Like, it seems as if no one really cares until it hits your front door now.
Yeah,
That's where
It's
we're
like
going with things.
with school shootings. I mean, these things happen, or not even just school, but it could be in a random place. These things, it's like every other week, and it's at a point where, I mean, even myself, I realize it. I'm desensitized. I'm like, oh, I'll read a line on my phone that comes in, 6 people shot and killed here. I'm like, wow, that's sad, and then I keep scrolling.
Yep,
because it's just.
You're
It's
not
just
alone.
another
You're not
day.
alone.
So
I
happy.
stay
You know what
away
I mean?
from it though, man, because I mean, we talked about the energy, man. It's just, especially for like it's in the morning. I'm like, no, I can't right now.
You guys ever heard of this called doom scrolling? You heard about that? Okay, so the way the algorithm works is, right, it knows exactly how long you look at something, right? So let's say you're looking at the news article that says 5 people shot, right? It knows how many seconds you're staring at it, right?
Wow.
And then it'll put more of that stuff on your feed.
True.
So then that's why people get so depressed because they're seeing all that stuff on their feed. It's called doom scrolling.
Yeah,
So it's called.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I saw a documentary on Netflix. I don't remember what it was called, but it's all about social media and its effects on people and everything like that. And exactly what Dr. Phil just said. These applications are tracking our usage, obviously, and it can tell, oh, you spent 10 seconds on a basketball video. I'm gonna feed you more basketball because that's what you like. So as he said, as you look at these stories and everything, it just keeps feeding more into it.
So look more on all our social media.
Yeah, and then I think too, like even with like the lack of attention to like this submersible and some of the pieces, the generic pieces it had. Like I feel like the only thing that OceanGate probably put real attention in on is their waivers, because it's like we know that this is probably gonna go bad really quick, so we're gonna make sure these waivers are watertight. So
that's what a waiver is designed for, is to say, here's the warning. If you still want to do it, it's on you. And I just wanted to say this because David just said something and it hit my spirit. It sizzled in my spirit. He said about the doomsday scroll, right? You know, the same used to be like, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. And now it's show me your social media.
show me your timeline.
Your timeline, I'll show you who you are.
That's crazy. Funny that you say that too, because it's like even with my timeline I've thought about it for a long time, and it's like, man, sometimes I feel like I'm not the same person I was anymore, because it was kind of more so when I was in college or late high school, and like the people that I added to my Facebook is like, this is what they talk about all day long, and it's like I feel like I say, people say a lot of times like I've outgrown my timeline, and it's just like.
Could feel it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yep, that's true. I feel bad, man. Again, the memes thing is just the desensitization to the plight of people. Because again, these people made this choice on their own. You can't really blame anyone else. But it's like, dang, they, what was coming for them, and they can't avoid it. And people kind of poking fun at this situation. It's like DJ mentioned, if it's not on your doorstep, you don't care.
I think the internet got a hold of it. The reason why, because it's so ironic. They went to go view a vessel where 1,000 people died.
Yeah,
they shouldn't have been there anyway.
Yeah,
and then they died.
That actually was something that I don't remember what the name of the book. I don't know if it was Tipping Point, but it was kind of wondering like, why would certain things go viral, right? And what Phil just said explains it. Right, it's because it's so ironic. Some billionaires went into a tiny, what you said, minivan. Somebody said minivan. Went into a tiny minivan, and it was just like, so because of it being so ironic is why it blasted off. So I don't really think it was any kind of distraction or whatever. It just was one of these things that just went viral because of the bizarreness of it.
It did go viral. It went viral because you paid $250,000 to sign your death. That's pretty much what it is. Father paid $500,000, father and son for him. So,
yeah, well,
sad situation, man.
A lot more with that money.
Yeah, I mean, so ultimately, man, I think we'll probably be at the tail end of some of the headlines that we're seeing surrounding this. But, just ultimately, man, it's just life is fragile. And, life is but a vapor. We're here today and gone tomorrow. And, it could have been anybody just making a plan to take a cross-country trip or, catch a flight. And so, sometimes, man, it's just we're but actors in the movie, and God is the ultimate director, and He only knows when our portion of the movie is going to be over. So, as we kind of wrap this up, man, on the submersible, again, our condolences to the families and those that are involved. Just for us overall, man, make sure you're staying aware of just not what's in the front page of the news, but everything that's happening in the news, because there's always a lot that's going on. So.
Fish eating 5 guys.
I'm sorry.
We got to end it with the meme. So this has been the Hold Your Point podcast. Real quick on the submersible and the events that took place this past week. Like and subscribe wherever you find us at. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Until next time.